And I'm going to put a little poll in here. If you guys check it out, you could vote and let me know. That is Entropy in the background. Alrighty, so start a little poll. All right, so this little live session is going to be specifically in regards to, if you're struggling to lose weight, right? Or you're struggling to lose fat specifically, right? I just did a recent video on my YouTube channel. You guys can check it out. This is, I think, a lot of people struggle to lose weight. I know there's a point in my life where I did struggle to lose weight, specifically fat, right? So looking at my diet is a big component, or your nutrition, right? So it's not just exercise, it's also nutrition of what you're eating on a value basis. So Victor, thanks for joining in. I'm doing great. How are you? This is kind of my first time doing a live here on my YouTube. So hopefully you guys enjoy. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the live. I've done plenty of lives on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, but I want to share some educational value on specifically nutrition. I do a lot of fitness tutorials. I'm starting to spend a little more time on nutrition, specifically your diet or your nutrition. People have a bad or negative connotation to diet, thinking that they have to diet or restrict calories, restrict food, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's entitled in the diet. So if you guys want to vote on the poll for those handful of people that are in here, feel free to put them in here. I used to struggle to lose my weight, but thankfully I got support from my wife. That is so awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. Support in your environment is huge, right? So if you have a supportive environment, your wife, your significant other, your family, that is huge. So I'm so happy to hear that. That is awesome. So let's see the votes. I'm seeing no, I'm good. Awesome. That's super good to hear. Ellen, hello. What's up? Good to see you in here as well. Again, this is my first time doing a live here on YouTube, but wanted to kind of talk about if you're struggling to lose fat or you're struggling with your nutrition, specifically diet. I most recently put up a video. You guys can check that out in terms of some marketing gimmicks that some companies put out there. I gave some examples of brands, and I am 100% guilty of that, especially when I was younger. Charlie, what's up? Good to see you in here as well. I love that you guys are tuning in. I love to see people that are in here that I know elsewhere. So thank you guys for tuning in. So I was wanted to talk about, I talked about this a little bit in the video, but want to talk about in terms of what you might see on the containers. For example, I love Honey Nut Cheerios. I used to eat them a lot. Victor, I'm sure I'll enjoy listening to your tips and advice on dietary. Yes. So again, for those that are tuning in, appreciate y'all. I used to love the Honey Nut Cheerios, but I think a lot of companies out there highlight or emphasize things that maybe aren't as important. Not to say that they aren't important. For example, minerals and vitamins, right? Specifically, those are part of the micronutrients, right? So you have macronutrients, micronutrients. Macros are protein, fat, and carbs. Those are essential. We need them in our diet. Vitamins and minerals are part of the micronutrients, right? Those can break down a lot of different things. So again, specifically talking about this brand, for example, they talk about the micronutrients up here, talking about vitamins and minerals. But if you look at the side nutrition label here, right, 1 cup, this is the English version, 1 cup is the serving size. 1 cup has 30 grams of carbs. And I will say carbs are not bad, but if you're looking to lose fat, you're looking to lose weight, there's something you need to be aware of is carbohydrate intake, right? So if you have 2 cups, that's 60 grams of carbs. If you drink OJ or you drink some sort of, or you drink this with milk, right? Most typically you're gonna drink with milk. I've tried cereal with water, not the jam. So again, if you are looking at your macronutrients, you have to be aware of what you're eating per serving. For example, I've had some products or some maybe bars that I've had that I'm looking for protein, and it's like, oh, it's 300 calories for the bar. Then I look at the serving size, like, oh, that's only half the bar, so it's 2 serving size. So looking at information and looking at the nutrition facts is very important. One thing also that I've recommended, I've talked about in a couple of different videos, is your protein intake. So how many grams of protein are you getting in a day? Now you can break down, and I typically follow a zone, which is 40, 30, 30, meaning 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fat. So if I look at that as a guide, right, I'll break down my macronutrients based off of that, based off your activity level, your output, right? What are you doing for workouts? What are you doing for your training? What are you doing for your daily activity? Are you very sedentary? Do you sit at your desk all day, or are you in an industry or in a job that you're constantly moving, right? So a rough guide for those that are out there is 1 gram of protein per pound of desired body goal, right? So if I'm looking to be 150 pounds, I'm trying to eat 150 grams of protein. A couple questions. What gear do you take? Rob, what do you mean by gear? You mean like supplements? like creatine. I do look up what to eat and what not to eat, staying shape and healthy. Yeah, so looking up can be great, right? Definitely different resources out there. There's a variety of different methodologies and theories. Some people will say keto, some people will say low carb. I will say, from coming from my experience, I was doing a paleo / low carb, super low carb diet when I first started CrossFit, and all the high intensity that I was doing was not good for my body. I was getting exercise-induced migraines. I got like fly vision. Head was killing me. It was super bad. It was not good. So again, it all depends on your goal and what you're looking to achieve. Carnivore / animal-based. I follow a very rough animal-based diet, meaning I'm trying to get animal protein at every sort of meal I can, right? So for eggs, for example, I hate low carb, Ellen. Yeah. So again, everyone is a little different, right? Everyone has a variety of things or factors to take into consideration. And I've talked to people about this before, and even clients, right? I could say, hey, whole milk can be a great source of protein, fat, and carbs. It's great. I used to put it on my post-workout shakes. But if you are lactose intolerant and you cannot consume milk because, you shit your pants, go to the bathroom, bubble gut, whatever it is, right? There's no reason in terms of suggesting that to the individual, right? So you want to find other alternatives. So performance enhancing drugs, don't play down, Rob. No, I have spent over 12 years competing, training, right? So I don't take any gear. My supplements that I focus on are creatine and protein, specifically a whey protein. So that's a lot of that and tons of this. Chicken, steak, ground beef. All right, so I've competed at a very high level within CrossFit. If you can't respect myself and the other individuals that put all the hard work in there, then you can leave, right? So again, I've had a lot of people have come at me at this. I've been drug tested multiple years. When I competed within the CrossFit space, I'd be drug tested randomly, not only at competition, but outside competition. So again, if you don't believe, that's fine. But for those individuals that have trained their ass off, have spent 6 to 8 hours training in the gym for multiple days, multiple weeks, multiple months, multiple years, it's very frustrating when individuals like you, and you're not the first one, you probably won't be the last one that have said that. So again, if you don't have anything nice to say, you can leave. If you don't feel that myself and other individuals that put all that hard work in there deserve that hard work, then again, you can go somewhere else. No one's got time for that. Anyways, so let's move on. As I was talking about protein, right? So if you guys are looking at your guide, looking at your nutritional factors, I give a rough guide is 1 gram of protein per pound of desired body weight. And that protein can come from multiple different sources. Like I said, it can come from chicken, right? Chicken's a great source. I have this in a plastic bag to make sure it doesn't leak. I also have ground beef. Ground beef is a great source. Ground bison is also really good. Let's see, me too. Thanks to you, Charlie Center. That's awesome. I'm not sure what you were talking about. Was it in regards to the protein? Sorry, I talked about a couple different things. So again, protein sources, right? Ground beef, ground bison, steak, great source. Steak is a great source of protein. Chicken, eggs are also a great source of protein, right? Also a great source of fat, but there's more protein more so than the fat than the eggs. So highly recommend that. So protein come from a variety of different sources. I, like I said, typically do an animal-based diet. But again, finding what's best for you is ultimately the most important. Also consistency, right? So if eggs aren't something you kind of enjoy or don't like, then you can find other substitutions, bacon, sausage, turkey slices, ham slices, deli meat, salami, prosciutto, all that stuff. So again, if you're struggling to lose fat, the first kind of start to go off is start logging your food, right? So start writing down your food intake and seeing how much you're eating, because it's hard to make changes if you don't really know what your numbers are or data points are. Question from Ellen, is there any reason why I should do more than 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight? Like if I'm trying to build muscle? Yes, 100%. You can do there. Again, there's multiple different theories out there. Some people will say anywhere from 0.7 to 1.2 or 1.5 grams of protein. So if you're looking to build more muscle or you're looking to add weight, right? So say you're 150 pounds and you're trying to get to 170 pounds, having 1.2 grams of protein per pound of desired body weight can be definitely beneficial, right? So increasing the amount of protein you take. So that's, again, rough guide. When I do numbers, if I do like a 40-30-30 split for macronutrients for an individual or for myself, the protein might be a little bit more than the 1.1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, desired body weight, just clarifying. You might be a little bit off. Again, this is a guide. Things can be tweaked and it may not be set in stone, especially in the beginning. So yes, there will be a reason if you're trying to gain weight or gain muscle, build muscle mass, that you'll be eating more. Creatine and protein, me too. Yes, I love creatine and protein. That is my staple. I've been using couple different proteins. You guys want to check them out, but this is my recovery protein. It actually has protein and carbs, right? So post-workout protein and carbs. This is chocolate flavored Live Momentous or Momentous. Awesome brand. I'm really loving it. They have minimal ingredient lists here, right? So I love the whey protein personally. I'll mix that with a scoop of protein or super creatine, and I'll put that in my post-workout shake and maybe some handful of ice cubes and then some water. This is essential protein. This is something different. I typically like whey protein. I accidentally ordered the wrong one. So this is a plant-based protein. It's not bad. It's vanilla chai. It's a little something different. I typically like to go with chocolate. But this I'll actually put in my oatmeal in the morning. And on the back here, it has 140 grams of calories and then 20 grams of protein. So a guide is looking at your each meal and looking at the grams of protein, right? So a rough guide is trying to get 20 to 30 grams of protein per each meal or snack. Now, again, that's going to be dependent on a few things. One, how many meals and snacks are you having throughout the day? What's your schedule like? What's your routine like? Are you able to get that in? If you're not, can you modify and do a different variety of different things? Do you track? No, I do not necessarily track calories. I'm looking more macronutrients. Calories will naturally be added up, right? So if you're using maybe MyFitnessPal or another app that calculates everything, obviously the calories are there, but I'm not so focused on calories. I'm more focused on macros. And when I work with clients and individuals, I recommend macronutrients more so than the calories. I think also individuals that maybe struggled with eating disorders, or if you had an eating disorder, the calorie might be something that maybe offsets you. The only reason I say this is because I struggled when I was younger in university. I became very restrictive of my caloric intake and very restrictive of what I was eating because I felt like that was the only thing I could control, right? There were some other things in life going on that I feel like I couldn't control. And so for myself, I could control my food, control my, I would say, food intake. And so I limited that as a way to have control of things in my life that maybe I didn't have. So that's why I say that. But again, I have a way healthier relationship with food. I feel really good. Again, for example, like it would be very difficult for me to have just a bowl or a cup of cereal. I would have the entire thing. And that led to not so good habits, eating habits, we'll say. So again, if you guys have questions, feel free to put them here in the live. If you guys find this beneficial, you can, I'm not sure if you can double tap or like. I know on other platforms you can double tap and like. So, right, I do have a planner of knowing what meals I eat every day, looking up on calories and carbs and able to control eating. Yes, that's great. Again, I highly recommend you write it down, whether that's on your phone or maybe that's on your, some people like to use like the eating plans or like a notebook, right? So however you like to track it down or write it down, I highly recommend that, as that's going to give you some feedback as to what you're eating, right? Not just food, but also beverages, right? If you're having soda or if you have seltzers, if you're trying to log your water intake. Water intake is very, very important. A lot of people don't get enough water, but also with the water, electrolyte levels or salt level intake. I know there was a thing way back in the 90s and early 2000s. It was all about low fat this or low fat that or low sodium this. But the problem is we need to have some sodium or salt in our diet. We need to have fat in our diet. If we don't have enough fat, our body and our brain functions start to can malfunction or may malfunction because you're not getting enough nutrients for your body to operate. So again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them here. Feel free to also vote on the poll if you want, and double tap like or share. So let's kind of continue. The few things that I wanted to kind of touch base on. This phone is not working. A few things I want to touch base on. Again, macronutrients, right? Protein, fat, and carbs. Protein we talked about. Protein is essential for building muscle, maintaining muscle. You don't want to use it as a fuel source because if you do, then you start to pull away and strip the muscle. So protein is essential. Again, a rough guide, 1 gram of protein per pound of desired body weight. May I suggest a free version of MyFitnessPal? Yes, Charlie, go for it. I know some people, I know I have the free version of FitnessPal. There's also the premium version. You can check that out. Again, highly recommend it. If it's something that's helpful for you, definitely recommend logging your food. That's a great way to do it. I love my macros app. I know people are resistant to tracking, but I think it's key to making sure I get enough protein. Yes, I agree. Some people have said that like logging makes them kind of feel neurotic about it. And I can understand and I can see that. But again, if you're looking to start off or you're looking to make changes, the best way to have some data points. So I agree, logging your food is important. Like I said, you can always look at the back of the nutrition facts. And again, everything may not be exactly spot on. Some people say, there's 1 or 2 grams or 5 grams off, but at least you have a guide and a reference as to getting close, right? So again, for example, this protein that I use for my oatmeal, it is 1 scoop is 20 grams of protein. So again, now I have a guide. All right, cool. If I have 1 scoop, that's 20 grams of protein right there in my morning oatmeal. Then if I have, you know, a steak, right, depending on the size of the steak, could be getting anywhere from 20 to 30 to 40 grams of protein. Again, depending on the ounces, et cetera, et cetera. Right, I always drink water since I was a kid, and I only drink soda at least once a month. Okay, awesome. Yes, so again, I used to love soda. Specifically, I can't talk, it's been a long day. Specifically, Mountain Dew. So I would probably drink like 3 to 4 Mountain Dews a day, and that was like the 12 to 16 ounces. Not so good. So if you struggle with that, right, slowly titrating back off those Mountain Dews or sodas can be helpful, right? So if you're drinking like 5 sodas a day, try to work on 4 sodas a day, then eventually 3, 2, 1, and then eventually, instead of having it every day, having it maybe every other day, or cutting back the number of I would say the number of sodas you're having a day. So hopefully that's helpful. Also, other things, as I said, protein, right, is important. Also, we move along to carbs and fat, right? So carbs and fat are a fuel source. It's kind of a lever, right? So if you're of high carb, you might have a little lower fat. If you're higher fat, you might have a little bit lower carb. Again, it all depends on your type of training. For example, if you're doing a lot of high intensity, a lot of CrossFit style training, high intensity is going to be utilizing carbohydrates for the fuel source. You might want to have a more moderate to higher level carbs. If you're not doing lots of high intensity, if you're looking to lose fat, cutting back on your carbohydrates, maybe have a little more fat would be definitely beneficial. Ellen, do you basically eat the same thing every day, or do you prefer variety? So breakfast is almost exactly the same every single day. I have my coffee with my collagen, then my coffee with my MCT oil powder, then I have my oatmeal with my protein powder, berries, and banana, and then breakfast is typically the same depending on what I have at the house. So I'll usually have 3 eggs, some blueberries, some sort of other meat. Maybe it's leftover meat or sausage or bacon or whatever I decide to cook. Maybe some deli meat, some ham. And then I'll have either rice or bread, depending, again, what I had. If I didn't make rice the night before, then I'll have bread, just because bread's a little faster in the morning. So pretty much exactly the same thing for the most part of the day. In the afternoon, I'll have maybe a snack. If I have maybe some beef jerky or salami, cheese sticks, maybe some leftovers from the night before, and then dinner will be kind of changing, right? So maybe I have burgers and fries one night, maybe I do steak and mixed vegetables, or I do a chicken saute with veggies. So there's kind of a variety of foods and meals that I have that I'll rotate through. I'm pretty fine and okay with doing the kind of same thing over and over. So I usually eat scrambled eggs, sausage, and a toast on occasion. That's awesome, Victor. That's great. Again, if you find something you like and it helps you stay consistent, the consistency over time will help you reach your goals, right? So progress and change will happen. It's just you have to be consistent with daily efforts, day in and day out. So again, anyways, as I was continuing. So last few things as we kind of continue on. Protein, right? We talked about protein, carbs and fat, essentially a fuel source. Your body can run off of fat as a fuel source. The body prefers glycogen, prefers the carbohydrates. Again, there's a lot of different variants in there. Are you a long distance endurance athlete? Are you a sprinter? Are you doing more short, high intense workouts? Are you a weightlifter? Again, all depends on your goals. Fats and carbohydrates are essential for the body, right? You can go low carb if you're not doing tons of high intensity. If you're looking to lose fat, you're looking to lose weight, be aware of your carbohydrates. Again, I was super low carb at one point, probably eating less than 50 grams of carbs a day, which is super, super low. And that's why I was getting those exercise-induced migraines, excuse me. When I was my highest level competing, I was probably eating 300 to 350 grams of carbohydrates at the time. So a lot of carbs, but again, it was fueling your body for performance. So anyways, I just wanted to test this out and do a little live on here. If you guys liked this, if you prefer YouTube, let me know. I will hopefully be doing more lives on here, try to see this out. I typically do lives either on TikTok or Instagram. I haven't done one on Instagram in a long time, but I'm thinking about maybe doing more on YouTube. If you guys find this beneficial, feel free to let me know, share. If you find it helpful on any facets, feel free to reach out to me or leave me a comment on my most recent videos. If you find the videos, my long form videos are helpful, please feel free to share those with others. I appreciate you all. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will hopefully see you soon. Love this, Margot. Thank you so much. You're so welcome, Ellen. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you guys soon. Have a great night. Take care.